What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. Today we're going to take a look at modding this Marvel Superheroes cabinet. What a beautiful cabinet. All set for delivery. Let's check this out. So, all done with this Marvel cabinet. It's a really nice looking cabinet for sure. So, it's pretty clean. I mean, aside from the LED lights and the two coin coin buttons there. There's not, and you have to excuse the mess. Whenever I build these things, I have stuff all over the place afterward. So I got to get this place cleaned up, tools, and but it's a really, really nice cabinet. So it's utilizing everything. So this thing works basically as the stock cabinet will work. The off-on switch works. And it turns on and off everything. The volume works. Now the volume is a little tricky because this opening video, the sound is super loud no matter which volume controls you have it set to. So in the description, I'm going to give you the line command that you have to run. So basically what I did is I took that video and I reduced the sound of the video because I can't reduce the sound of the volume. I reduced the audio in the actual video so it's not, being super loud as the machine boots up. Because I like the Arcade1Up logo to come, even though that nothing but the cabinet, the monitor, and those switches are the original Arcade1Up, and the power cord is the original arcade stuff, Arcade1Up things. But none of this happens in this package without Arcade1Up, right? So want that logo to come up, and you see I had a custom Marvels and X-Men intro screen. So not a whole lot to see. I kept with the original colors of the buttons in the same pattern, so that nothing changes. I went with the crystal or translucent red and blue bat tops. So they don't illuminate, but they're close enough to those buttons that they will have a little sparkle to it. With this movie, the Thanos, I believe his name is, with the jewels, it's just fitting on this cabinet to have those be there. All right. So aside from those coin holes there, and you see I lined up the buttons with, I lined up the coin buttons with the player. The start buttons and the select buttons line up versus putting them two in the center or both on the side. I just think it has a better effect that way. All right, so now if we go around to the back, again, ignoring all the garbage everywhere. Let's just take a peek inside. It is pretty empty. I mean, the whole base is wide open. The items that are in here are positioned in such a way that nothing interferes with that logo panel with that has the games listed on it, because you know that slides out if you want to put a coin door in. You still have your space for that. Nothing is on the ground or the floor. Nothing is on that board. Nothing's on that keyboard. So you have full access to be able to add a coin door. The J panel, I believe it is, where the coin doors, nothing's attached to that as well. So you have access to everything. There's extra plug or outlets. So there's actually 2 outlets that are still free and available on the power strip that's included in here, as well as an available always or what is that thing labeled? No, this is normally on, so normally off. So the normally off, there's still another button here, so you could plug in something there that would only come on when you turn the cabinet on and turn off when it is turned off. So now I had already had this 6 foot or might be 9 foot or 8 foot cable for the outlet. So I had to bundle that up, and that's not going anywhere. Everything is tied down very well. I forget whose video I saw these on, but Retro Ralph was the person he said recommended for him. These things are great for tying down the cables, because you can always take them off. So the sticky part would always stay on, but you can unloosen this and so you can take something out or add something in, and you can see you can make the thickness tighter or looser, depending on what you do. So all these cables are bundled up in there. Everything is tied down. This is the cable to this keyboard here. If you want to charge that, that's plugged into the power there. So the relay switch, and I can't get any lower than this. You've seen the relay switch. The link is in the description for that video. This relay box here has that green plug there. It has a USB cable that plugs into the Raspberry Pi, and so that when it senses power, we'll turn that on, and when it's turned off, it'll turn off the power strip that's plugged into it. So this core here is the power strip. That's that power strip over there. There's 3 things plugged into that power strip: the speaker, the power to the actual video board, and the charger for this keyboard. So those are the 3 things that are plugged into the power strip. Again, leaving 2 available. On the relay, there's 4 plugs. The always on, so that's where the Raspberry Pi is plugged into. There's 2 normally off that will come on when triggered, and I have that power strip in there, and you have 1 available. And then there's a normally on that goes off when you turn off the unit. So I don't see, again, in our application, the only thing I could possibly see that normally on being used for would be for the keyboard charger cable. You can have that in there, and it's not on when the unit's on, but it can be charging the keyboard when that's turned off. Versus, so it all depends. If you keep your cabinet on more than you have it off, then that you have an option, because the keyboard doesn't, the battery doesn't, it doesn't need to be charged that often. That little keyboard battery lasts forever. So that's the cool thing. So this cabinet is for a kid. So there's a few things I did differently. I put the keyboard on the inside because you're not going to need that. Additionally, I normally put the speaker on this top, and that is now inside of the cabinet. So I took out the speakers, the stock speakers, which were housed pretty nicely. Again, excuse the mess on this table. They were housed in under these little cones and this little cable bracket kept the wires in place. So these two speakers and their cable is removed. It would have been nice to be able to plug this into something and actually utilize it, but that's not the case at this point in time. So what's different here? So we got the Arcade 1-Up menu, which works pretty, looks really nice. So what I normally do, what I would like to do in this situation, I'm having some issues with, and I have to resolve that quickly before I send it off, is I remove the RetroPie options screen here, because again, this is for a kit. But what I want to do, because I have it in kit mode, or no, I have it in kiosk mode. Now kit mode only shows the games that are available that have been pre-selected as kit mode. The kiosk mode just gets rid of certain settings. So the kiosk mode is nice. The only problem with kit mode or kiosk mode is, no, with kit mode you cannot remove favorites, but with the kiosk mode you can. So that's the good thing about having the kiosk mode, is it protects the settings from being messed with, but you still have the functionality like adding to favorites and stuff. The only problem is, and I don't know why they didn't think about that, with the kiosk mode, or just in general with this Raspberry Pi setup, when you add or remove things from favorites, it does not save unless you exit emulation station first. Versus if I hit the switch, it doesn't save. In this kiosk mode, it's not going to save because there's no option to restart emulation station or shut down emulation station. It only allows you to restart and shut down the system. So those two functions are not going to save the favorites. So that's the downside of it. But if I don't have this with a kit, they're going to be able to mess up a whole lot of things. So I am going to also get rid of the ability to press the A button. And I think I may have already done it. I'm not sure what's it. Okay, so it's still here. I don't know why these things are on. Now you still can go into the settings like this and do this, but the likelihood that they'll mash button, the coin button, because that's only used with exiting the game, I'm not too concerned about this. So I'll just save that override so that it's not producing any overlays in this. So I still have to go through a few things because I have some issues with some of the things being off the screen, which someone pointed out in my other video. And I still do with some vertical games. I'm not sure why it's not allowing me to pick a ratio that fits it into the screen. So that's kind of weird. So you press both white buttons here to exit out. So it looks like I did already take out the ability to press the A to change anything. So I got rid of the Raspberry Pi options and the ability to press A, because with kids they'll be mashing buttons and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Like even this scenario, that credit is slightly off the screen. And it's like, why is that? It doesn't make any sense. And that's with me already having made an adjustment. So I'm not sure why you have those slight imperfections. I don't like it, but I'm at the end of this build and I'm just going to have to leave it. I don't think it's going to bother them. But I just don't like that it's there. So the final touches, got the heat sinks on it. Those little areas where these things sit gets pretty hot as the computer operates. So they'll disperse that heat across these little aluminum pieces. They're called heat sinks. So we put that on. Also, I always just do this. I put these ties onto the power bricks that could possibly work itself off, and then people will call you like, hey, the speaker's not working or whatever. So those are strapped down with ties where it's possible. This one's on here pretty solid pie, so I'm not gonna worry about this. And obviously I wouldn't worry about that because that's locked in. But those two could get loose just in delivering this thing. So those things won't budge. And then the last thing is these screw hole covers. Where am I? It's too bright. And you can't see them because that's the whole purpose. But you can see one there, one here. I turn the light, and it's just too bright. You can see one down there, but when you're just looking at that picture, you're not going to see those screw holes, and that's just no, you can see when you're up close like this, but when you're just looking at the device, you're not going to see those screw holes. So just final touch. So those are the last thing to do. We'll just wipe it down and get some of this dust off, and it is ready to be enjoyed by my great nephew. So another mod, I don't know what number this is, mod number 12, I don't know, but he's going to enjoy this. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and we can always learn something new. I will include in this video the joystick installation tip. You've already seen it. Obviously, I'm talking before I actually include it. But that's it, guys. Until next time, I'll see you on the web.